Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nairobi Sisterhood. This is episode 5 and we are talking about the things we think are underrated. But before that, I'm just asking you to like and subscribe from whichever channel you're watching from. But let me introduce my guest. But today I'm going to introduce you because I think you don't introduce yourself with enough enthusiasm. Oh, this is my lovely friend, a bestie, someone we went to school with for years.
We suffered through law school.
Yeah, it brought us closer together. And her name is Maya. Yeah, she would have said her name like Maya. But yeah, her name is Maya and I love her.
Wow. And to my right is my beautiful, colorful, well-dressed friend, sister, Gina.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Should I have been like, Gina?
Yes.
Sorry, Gina. Okay, so now I've done it.
Yeah. So Gina will start us off with the first thing I think is underrated.
Okay, what do you think is underrated?
Yeah, I think wearing high heels is underrated. The amount of confidence that I get from wearing heels is it's different. Like I walk different, I talk different, I be different.
Your booty is popping different. Let me tell you.
And the people address you is like
so different
like,
from when
hey,
you're in
mom.
like flats.
Is there
That's so
anything I can get
accurate.
you? People treat you so well. Even in restaurants, for me, in restaurants, everyone is always much more respectful and much more willing to do things for me.
You know what I think they do?
Yeah.
Heels give you baby girl energy.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what it is about. And not to say that you're not feminine in your sneakers and your doll shoes and your flats, but heels just, they elevate your look.
Yes.
They give, if you're wearing a dress and you're going for dinner and you wear heels, it elevates your look. It makes it more, I don't know.
Yeah.
It gives it an extra.
Even if you're wearing a t-shirt and jeans and you wear heels, that's a completely different outfit
than if you wear the same look with flats. Yeah, that's so true. You know what? I actually wear heels to the club all the time, but only because, okay, for me, the reason I appreciate heels as much is because one, I'm a petite babe.
Yeah.
So when I wear heels, my booty be booty,
like,
my booty be bootying. And then there's just, when I wear flats, because I'm a tiny person, I look like a kid. So I'm not trying to be in the club. And also, because I'm small, it's not always I'll wear something short. So if I wear jeans and a top, and then I wear in flats, the number of times I've been carded in a club. Like, my ID is asked for every single time.
Yeah.
So when I make an effort, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes they leave me alone.
I get you.
They leave me alone.
But now, for me, clubs is the one place that I really don't like wearing heels because if I want to dance, they're just in the way.
For real? Yeah. No, me, I'm so comfortable in heels. I can dance in heels. I just don't like wearing heels when my only thing, the thing I don't like about heels is that I have to always take a cab.
Yeah.
Because I'm not driving in heels. Now, please release me.
Yes.
And then if I'm meeting you and I'm in heels, please. I'm sorry, especially if it's a date, nigga, you have, oh my god, just have a way for us to get a boat that's not walking.
Oh,
because I'm not suffering.
But if I come in was an option, even if I'm wearing sneakers, not an option.
I don't mind wearing, like, I don't mind walking because there's some dates are not like if. So
okay.
If it's like a museum date and the eating spot is here, the museum date is here, the art gallery is here.
Okay.
I'm not going to be like, let's take a cab to everywhere if it's a walking distance. I'm okay with walking.
I get that.
But then if I'm in heels, I'm sorry. Utalipa hiyo 200 hata kani walking distance because siteseki juu yako. Tabidi umenibeba na heshima.
No, we are not here for suffering. We are not here for suffering.
It's just, it is what it is. I'm sorry. Yeah. And if you're going for someone who wants to walk in heels, then I'm not your target audience. We're not for each other.
Yeah. It's good to know. I like that we are there in our lives.
Siko baya.
And I feel like for me, the wearing heels things goes with smelling good and wearing clothes that fit.
I don't know.
I'm so underconfident in clothes that I don't feel like are fitting me well, even if they're genuinely good style. Yeah. But if I don't feel like the fit is good for me.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? There's a time I asked, you see, like street smile, street style, the way it's like baggy pants. It's very Aaliyah.
Aaliyah.
The
singer
look, the singer that passed.
Yeah.
It's very, you get me, that style.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about that look. I remember when I see it on people, I'm like, wow. But then when I'm imagining myself in it, I'm like, why am I drowning in my clothes?
I don't know. I think maybe I think the places that it needs to fit. Like it needs to fit your waist. So your waist needs to be like this.
Cinched.
Even if the rest of it is
no, I don't
baggy.
know. I don't identify with the style.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
even if
Like,
it was
that's
in
a
heels,
different
I'd still be
style.
like, oh, what's going on? But some people wear it well. For me personally,
Yeah.
you see the way when you said fit, now me I'm thinking,
Or you want clothes that are fitting your body.
I'm saying
like
body fitting. I'm not saying
against-
fit your body. I'm saying body fitting. So for me, I feel like heels for me go better when my clothes are snug.
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think it matters for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a good point.
And the smelling
Heels are
would say.
so underrated. And also, I think people, let me just give a tip to the girlies. I know you keep saying like heels are uncomfortable, blah blah blah. You can't wear them for long. It's if the heel is not fitting your leg nicely.
Yes.
So the trick is to make sure that your leg lies on the heel fully, because if it's slightly raised, because see your leg goes like, I don't know, your foot goes like this.
Yeah.
So like the toes, and then it's a bit raised, and then if you're not a flat foot. I'm talking for the rest of us.
It's an inverted S.
Yes.
Basically.
So the heel's supposed to snag the S, the inside. If it doesn't, that's why you're getting cramps. That's why you're feeling pain.
That's why your ankles are painful.
Yeah, because all your weight is on your toes, and your weight should be on the shoe fully. Like it's like should be stepping on the ground.
Damn.
So yeah,
tutorial.
I'm telling you.
Okay,
I got you, baby. I got you.
Yeah, tell us what your
okay. So my underrated thing is, this is random. It's money tracker apps or money tracker journals. So I used to be like, oh, why am I always broke? Like I have money and I'm making money, but why am I always broke? And I don't know what I'm spending. Like if someone says, we always make jokes and we're like, oh, we make jokes and we say things like, I spent all my money. I don't know where my money went.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing for you to not know where your money went. It's even better for you to say, I spent all my money on drinking. At least you know
where it is.
That drinking is a priority for you.
Yeah.
So for me, I started using a money tracker app called Money Manager. I would not recommend it. Not that it's a bad app.
I know.
But my experience with it wasn't ideal eventually. Like I loved it for like a year, and then it lost my information when my phone was stolen, and I was like, why did it not back up? So for that, I was a bit underwhelmed. But the concept of tracking your expenses is you realize what your money goes to. So for me, it was always like social life, Ubers. So those are my two biggest expenses. So if I noticed I was wasting money on, let's say, you realize, one, it teaches you what you value, because then you realize how much you spend money on. I'm spending on this, and then it shows you where your loopholes are. Like, where am I actually wasting money? Like, is it transaction fees? So that now you can cut down and be like, I spend 2K in a week. I don't need to be transacting every single day. Yeah, I can always remove 2K once and then spend that amount of money. I love it. Or if it's something I value, I start asking myself, why do I value this thing? So for me, it was, yes, my social life is important, but is it worth spending? Okay, for example, like 50K on my friends, if I'm making less than 50K. Clearly, I'm living beyond my means. Yeah. So it really put things into perspective for me. And it was such a small thing. It wasn't but it didn't even, I'm not talking about budgeting. I'm just talking about finding out where my money is going. I don't need to be good with money. I just need to continue living my life. But every day, I'm typing in. And you don't even need to track every day. There's some apps which track your expenses because they're tied to your bank or your M-Pesa. And even M-Pesa, the app itself, tracks for you. It doesn't do it as detailed, but you can see that this is friends and family, food. Yeah, it gives you a general idea. Yes. So for me, it's really benefited me. So I think it's a very underrated because it makes a huge impact. Kwanza, you see that money manager one I was using? Yeah. You key in every day, including the small things. Yes. The more if I'm typing and I'm like, I spent 50 bob on airtime today, I'm like, every day I'm typing in, I'm spending 50 bob. Why don't I just pay for a post pay? Yeah. If I'm going to spend for the rest of the month, if I'm going to spend 3K on airtime, either way, it's because I just didn't notice because it was 20 bob, 20 bob, 20 bob. But now that I've seen, where am I spending 3K on airtime? See, I might as well just pay for the post pay one time. I'm up to like 1,500, 2K, and I've finished that chapter. Yes. Like it gives you perspective.
I cannot express how happy I am right now because you know how passionate I am about this thing.
Yeah.
And you know how difficult it is like to talk to someone about like you should start tracking your expenses. It's hard to talk to your friends about these things, even as someone who's extremely interested.
Yeah.
And
because you don't want them to be in your business.
Yeah, and I'm also not trying to be in your business. So if it starts with you, for me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've also used Money Manager, the Money Manager tracker app.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like all the ads personally, but I track physically.
Okay.
I do pen and paper.
Yeah.
But at some point, my income changed, so now I need to start tracking differently.
Yeah.
Because I started spending differently. At some point, it was almost like you know exactly how you're spending, so you only track like once a week because I knew exactly what I was spending on and what my income was. It was very consistent.
Okay.
Now I need to do it differently because my income is different.
Now the funny thing is, now that my income is different, I've not been tracking. But then it's also because I don't know. I think it's the difficulty with acknowledging that what you're making either less than what you used to make, and then your expenses haven't changed. So it's like you're in a deficit.
Yes.
And it's depressing to see on paper. So that's the only reason I've not gone back to it. But I think I should go back to it so that I can adjust.
Exactly. That's why we should go back to it. That's why you should track to see, okay, yeah, I used to be okay spending a lot of money eating out, but now I can't do that anymore. I need to reduce the amount significantly and have it match up to whatever I have, the money I have right now.
Yeah.
Instead of just acting like it's
you're
not
still,
there.
You're still
you can't
Beyonce.
Ignore. You can't, yeah. It's like acting like Beyonce on a...
I'm fighting for my life right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's ridiculous.
Oof. I get you.
I want to get there's a money tracker journal I've been eyeing for like the past 2 years.
Oh.
And I really just need to get it. And then the funny thing is, I don't know why it's so hard for me to spend 2,500 to buy this journal. But I'm spending 2,500 to buy a boutique. My God.
Yeah, our priorities can be so
Do you know, it's actually made me realize, like even with therapy, it's like I can spend 2,500 on a bottle in the club because maybe boutique 4,500 or whatever. Hey, my math is bad. 5K. That was the boutique is 5K and I've chucked 2,500 and spending it on therapy is in a new
so hard.
I'm like, do you not love yourself?
It's the same thing. I was having a conversation with my mother the other day and she told me I was unwell and I didn't want to go to hospital because I'm not on my parents' insurance anymore. Just adulting.
I feel you, sweetie. I feel you.
I'm not on the insurance, but I was unwell and I would have had to pay out of pocket, obviously. So I was telling her how, let me just not go to hospital because it just sort itself out. It's expensive. And she got visibly upset because she was like, I see you spending on all these things and you don't have a problem spending on, eating out, your friends, you doing what, but you have a problem spending on your health. What's
my
wrong
bombastic side eye is because that eating out part. Have you seen Gina's content? She does this thing where she does content. Follow her on Instagram on I am Gina.
Yeah.
She does content on going to restaurants, how much it costs, the review for the restaurant. Yeah. And sometimes I look at your bill and I'm like, high blood pressure. Do you know for the longest time I couldn't spend money on eating out? Like I used to genuinely, you see, when your parents say there's food at home, I am literally the embodiment of your grandmother or your mother telling you
there's food at home.
My natural state is there's food at home in my brain.
I love it.
So I've grown out of it because I've grown out of it because it was to the extent of I'm hungry and I'm about to faint in town, but I don't want to spend money on. You know what I mean? Like, you have a headache, but you don't spend money on food. Like, what was the reason?
Like, you could have bought a pie.
Not even that. You could have bought below 200.
Yeah.
But genuinely, it's even giving Maisa. Because I just never used to see the value of spending money
and you're stingy
on food.
On yourself.
Which is so unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I've changed. I'm improving. I'm accepting to spend money on food.
We need to find a middle ground between us.
Yeah, like because me, I'm extreme.
A bit more on food. I am on this extreme, or say when I will spend. But we are getting better. Even all the content that's on my Instagram from these past few weeks has been content from other weeks because I have not been spending on restaurants. So
bless your heart.
Clap for me. Thank you. Yeah. So what was my answer?
Your next underrated item?
Well, and my next underrated item is female friendships. I don't know.
That's my point number 2.
Oh my god.
Okay, carry on.
Female friendships are it. I was even thinking about it yesterday and I almost came to tears.
Because babes,
I think you guys have been there for me through everything, through every single thing.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where I think I learned how to love and be loved from my female friends.
Not babes.
Don't
stop. Okay.
Yeah, I learned how to love and be loved from my female friends, and from me being down bad and the love still being unconditional,
Yeah.
and people still showing up. And yes, we have like male friends in our circle,
Yeah.
but it's 90% female.
Definitely 90% female.
And sometimes no one gets it like the girls. Like no one gets the heartache, the heartbreak, the pain, the fact that you need to keep showing up even
so
in
accurate.
all these feelings and emotions.
And you know the funny thing is, I see people on social media, and even when I talk to some of my guy friends, they're like, yeah, but women are so fake to each other. Like your friends 1 minute, but you're talking smack about your friend to the other minute. And I'm like, what female friendships are you observing?
Yeah.
Because the genuineness in my friendship group, and my friendship group being even with my guys, but mostly among my girls, is there's no one who will get. If we were talking about maybe something like, I don't know, we're at work and someone said something, a man said a statement that rubbed you the wrong way. If I said it to my male friend, he'd be like, I don't think he meant it like that.
Yes.
And fine, he might not have meant it like that, but the babe will be like, I get why you would saw it like that, or you felt the way you felt by that statement. He might not have meant it like that, but I get why it triggered you.
Still validate my feelings even while still explaining the rationale of something.
Exactly.
You still help me feel like I'm not a crazy person.
And also, if I'm explaining something like what? Sexual assault. PSA, no trigger warning. If I was explaining something like that, tungina, I wouldn't have to tetea myself.
Yes.
I'd very easily say, this is what happened. I wouldn't feel like she'd go, but you should have done. Because she'll always be like, I'm in those shoes.
Yeah.
Like, I know how, as a woman, I would have perceived this as dangerous.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Like, if I'm explaining to a guy, let's say me and you you're a guy, I'm a girl. You lock the door. As a guy, in his head, he's probably thinking, I want privacy.
Yeah.
But as a girl, if I tell a girl that, and in that moment I tell her, I just thought, oh my God, he's gonna rape me now because he's locked the door and he doesn't want me to leave. From the girl's perspective, it's like, I'm being locked in.
Yes. You feeling insecure, like it's not a safe space anymore.
Your heightened senses are like you're in danger.
Yes.
But for the guy, it's like, maybe he just was locking the door because he closes his house. But then, are you getting the difference? If I am talking to a girl, I don't need to over-explain myself. I don't need to be like...
We already have shared perspectives, shared experiences.
Because we've walked through life the same. The same way in male friendships. For us, if a guy told me, I was walking on the street and the girl crossed the road, I'll be like, I get her. And the guy will be like, but I felt... If he tells another guy...
Yes.
Okay, if it's a black man talking about a white woman crossing the street, the fellow black man would be like, it's giving racism, assuming that you're dangerous.
Yes.
But for a woman, if I had that from a guy, I'd be like, she was just scared.
Maybe
genuinely, she was scared.
Yes.
Maybe, okay, obviously kuna nuances, kuna other aspects of racism.
But you're still a woman.
But I'm still a woman and I'll be like, I get it.
As a black woman, maybe I would have also crossed the road.
Unless it's like in the day and the girl is crossing the road, I'd be like, okay, I don't understand. Yeah. But like if it's at night, for her it wasn't about color. It's just you're black, like you're a man.
You're a man, and
sometimes it's a gender issue and not a race issue.
Yes.
And I don't know that you guys get the gist. But female friendships just snatch. Like they just capture your soul.
Differently.
So different. And then also platonic friendships between male and female, like a man and a woman, are, how do I explain it? Even with your male friends, depending on how some of us, to make out to brothers, we are just looking anyhow. Me, there are some guys I don't even bother combing my hair to see. Like you'll meet me in pajamas. I'll only brush my teeth. Common decency. But like the rest, you're just Zoya the look.
I'll come as I
am.
Yeah.
But there's a level of desirability that you still have to. I'm not saying you have to attract all your friends, but he's still a man.
So you still
subconsciously you're not.
I think I get it.
You don't
even if you're going to meet your male friend, you still dress up a little bit, maybe not to the extent
that you would if you're going to meet a date.
But you won't just
show
up in Adira and sandals, like if you were meeting a babe and you just wanted something casual, something chill.
Yeah. There's a level of, and then even when you're telling the story, like if you're telling a story to a guy who's your male friend, there are some reservations.
Yes.
Because you know that he'll perceive you differently if you're unapologetically yourself. But if you're talking to a babe, it's like he's in your mind when you're saying the story. So you don't even
finish each other's sentences.
Yeah, okay, like I know, right? Like that's happened to me before. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Even in basic things like if I go, it's an Obra day, and I go somewhere, you don't need to tell me you are worried that if it's windy or cold, your nipples will be doing the thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. There's just a common sisterhood that comes with female, like a woman to a woman conversation and relationship in comparison to a woman and a man.
Yes.
Because even he will, the way have you ever seen that thing for at a man? Even if we're just friends, and you think you're just friends, if you offer him, he wouldn't say no.
I get what you're saying, but I refuse.
I
refuse it. I refuse it.
Imagine I used to be of that opinion of like, no, I think it can be genuinely just
friendship.
I
don't think you can be genuine just friends
but
with
the
someone,
older
and even if
I've
you offer, they
gotten,
will say no.
let me say, I have those friends that I know for sure are like that. But then I've met more and more guys who have joined my friend group that are bits, I've been side-eyeing them because they have moved with that energy.
Maybe it's your friends.
No, I'm so serious.
Honestly.
I'm so serious because I don't know. That's a whole other discussion.
Okay, I do understand that maybe having male friends and them being attracted to you, like you can have male friends who are platonic and they still be attracted to you, but I don't think that men are also just seated there waiting for you to offer them sex, and that even if you do, that it's an automatic yes. That I don't agree.
I think let me just say, I hear you. I know there are men like that. I know there are men, the men you speak of. I know some of them.
Exist.
I know they exist.
Yeah.
Whether they are at least 50% or 70% of them are not in that group.
Oh, you don't think they're the majority?
I don't think they're the majority, and I think it's a disservice to tell women to walk in that mindset. Does that make sense? You know, the way you can think the people who surrounded you are woke, but people outside in this Kenya walking around every day, they're not
the same as all the people I consider my friends.
Stay safe, ladies. Stay safe.
Okay, I understand that.
Stay woke.
I understand that one.
That's the one. Because I used to walk around with that because I was we share the same
I'm
circles.
struggling with why are you considering this person your friend if you know that they're just waiting for an opportunity?
That's the thing. When I met them, I treated them like my normal friends, like all the other guy friends, until they moved funny. And I was like, what's going on? And then I was like, Ama, we have conversations, and they outrightly admit that. Because we're having a general conversation. See, in friendship, you're unapologetically yourself. Yeah. So you say what you actually think.
Yeah.
And this person is like, yeah, we are friends, but we are friends, but I will still fuck you if you offer me. And I'm like, pardon? And that's when I'm like, okay, so I know where to put you.
Okay.
Thank you for your honesty. I will not call you a monster, but I'll appreciate your honesty. You know what I mean?
I get that.
But you see, when I was becoming their friend, I didn't know.
You had no idea.
Because honestly, my guy friends are my guy friends. We don't cross lines.
You know what I think my problem is? I think I'm approaching my relationship with them the way I think their relationship with me is,
and that's not the case.
It's not the same. Yeah, just because I think of it in this way doesn't mean that they see me the way I see them. So yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Wild. Anyway, anywho, so yeah, friendship. And okay, so my point to just piggyback on your point wasn't even as such female friendships, but friendship in general, because the most underrated thing is genuine friendships. The friendships that my problem is not too big.
Yes.
I mean, it's not too big or too small for my friend.
Yeah.
If I told my friend something today, it's like recently I was going through something and I was talking to someone and it was 11 p.m. She had to travel the next day. And I was going through it in that moment. And she was like, do you want me to come just to give you a hug?
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow. Like, you don't need to, but
The fact
thank
that
you
you're
for
willing.
offering. Thank you for wanting to be there enough for me to show up, even in a inconvenience, because we all have work the next day.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect to be in this situation in this moment. Like, it was one of those ones. For
Yeah.
someone to pull up on you because you're down. It's
Yeah.
just, it's
Yeah.
beautiful to see. And it's not even with the expectation, because me, I'm not moving around life thinking, I want Gina to show up here at 1 a.m. Or in the moments that you can call me and I show up and I come up with a reason, even if I can't leave the house, to come support you and be 100% there for you. Genuine friendships are so underrated. So underrated.
Criminally underrated.
And then I know people say, the thing I dislike about the internet right now is there's a lot of information about self-made millionaires, self-made
There's no such thing.
people at the top. Like, I did this on my own. I did it without the help of others. But I'm like, no, we're not gonna discredit the fact that some people give you an education. We're not gonna discredit the fact that someone held your hand. We're not gonna discredit the fact that a stranger probably gave you a tissue and you were crying in a mat.
Along the way, you failed and someone
supported you, even in the
someone
smallest
told you
ways.
You got this even when you didn't believe that you did. This self-made nonsense is
because no
utter BS.
Relationships are there to hold you down, like to hold you together, to put you back, and to, because people know you, you know yourself, and people can't tell you about yourself. But people can remind you once you forget. You know? Hey, this episode is because tears are coming.
We don't cry. Public, my eyeliner is too expensive.
Gather ourselves. But yeah, genuine friendships are so underrated.
You just reminded me of the day that you came to my house and you cleaned my kitchen and my microwave.
You was going through it though.
I hadn't moved in days. I hadn't eaten. This girl came. She don't even like to cook. I don't even know if she knows how to cook that well.
Cooking skills are below par.
But she did what she did, and you fed me. You literally.
You are really
and I appreciate it.
Life.
And
genuine friendships. Underrated.
Very underrated. Things that are going to make us cry. I love you too.
I love you too. Okay. So
this is very, very far away from the emotions.
Please, let's pick a good one.
Farting. Passing gas.
What? Like, I heard you the first time. Don't repeat it. It's okay. What? It's an underrated thing.
Listen to me. I know it's underrated because I'm lactose intolerant. Also, being able to digest milk.
Oh, that's a good one because I'm also lactose intolerant.
If you can digest
this is
milk,
a friendship thing. Whether we are twins.
Yeah, you're doing better than us because we can't digest milk. But for people who are lactose intolerant, I think I consume dairy products way more than I should. And I did that this last weekend.
I don't play those games.
I did that this last weekend and my body punished me. And I got so much gas that it was so painful. And I've never dreamt of farting like in that moment. And in my mind, I was just like, I just need to rip a good one and I'll be fine. And eventually, I took meds and it cleared the system.
Such an odd choice for this list.
No, but
it's definitely underrated.
Yeah, because every time you have gas and you pass gas and you don't even think about it until the gas builds up and it's so freaking painful.
Okay, I get that.
Extremely painful.
Farting is underrated until you're bloated.
Until you have an intolerance you didn't know about and you eat something and or something has something you can't digest. And you're there suffering, fighting for your life, and you can't stand. It's not.
That's such an interesting.
It's not one. Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Yeah. Definitely, it's underrated. I agree.
Yeah, and if you're lactose intolerant, please don't be like me. Don't
love yourself. Be like me.
Love yourself more than Gina loves herself.
You know, the funny thing is, cheese. The reason why I don't take those chances is because also dairy affects my skin.
Oh,
and my acne is bad, so I don't have
the luxury. It's not like just toilet.
This face will be carrying it everywhere. No.
And face can't decline.
No. We are not doing it. Don't involve me. So on top of my stomach showing me hell.
Yeah.
Then now my face then carry the guilt.
No.
Release me.
No. I guess I get you. I get why you wouldn't put yourself in that situation.
And even if I do take dairy, on a minimal.
Yeah.
Like, I can't have more than 2 slices of pizza. I don't put cheese in anything that I don't have to put cheese in. If it has cheese, if it has milk, don't involve me. I just chocolate once a month. So my next one is Kenyan music. Kenyan artists. Forget like
100%
Kenyan music, Kenyan artists.
agree.
First of all, I know we are all in love with pop and sijui what. There are so many artists like you can think, okay, there's no Ed Sheeran or Kenya. But let me tell you, Kenyan music. There's a time I went to some event. It was a singer-songwriter event, and I didn't even know it was. I was just invited by someone, and I show up, and let me tell you, people here have voices. People here are producing music better than, I don't know, the people you think are doing it in the US or the UK.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to see. So if you're gonna hit, like, it's not just the mainstream music that shows up on radio or shows up like they do concerts. There are so many good Kenyan artists.
I believe.
What? Kwanza, if you really discover them on Spotify, if you discover them on like, there are people who really like Kenyan music, like Patricia Kihoro.
Yes.
She really likes Kenyan music, so she's always putting it up in her content or even in general.
Yeah.
There are playlists you can find. There's such good Kenyan music.
These people are very talented.
What?
Even on TikTok. Like when you see the upcoming ones and their clips on TikTok, and I'm like, wow, like you are extremely underrated.
Extremely
Someone
underrated.
needs to give you like a platform, or we need to hear more of
We
you.
need to promote more of Kenyan music because we are doing them a disservice.
As you guys are being mad at Sauti Sol for disbanding, that's not where your attention should be. They've been in the game for I don't know how many years. They gave us their best music. Let them move on. Focus on other people who are upcoming. There are people who are talented out here that we're not giving
airtime.
Enough attention to.
Not even that, and not all the only music. Not Kenyan music is not just the club music.
It's also not just gengetone.
Gengetone, Mara.
Yeah.
The ones that make it to the club.
Yes.
There's such good music outside that's not just that. There's live bands. There's I don't know, acoustic. There's jazz. There's there's alternative. There's rock. There's so much. Just discover Kenyan art. Whether it's music, whether it's theater, whether it's just there's beautiful things to see out here. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Oh yeah. My other thing was an underrated thing is speaking mother tongue. Speaking your mother tongue.
Yo.
I didn't know I was going to grow old like this quickly. But before I learned how to speak Kikuyu by force. Thanks, my parents.
Yeah.
Because in our house you're only allowed to speak English and Kikuyu. You're not allowed to speak Swahili.
Why?
Especially if it's broken Swahili. Because if you're gonna speak Kiswahili Sanifu, which I can't do. So it was either English or Kikuyu, and that's the only thing that those are the only things that were the only languages that I was being spoken to with. And now that I'm older, I really appreciate my mother tongue and my language and my culture and where I'm from. And when someone speaks to me in Kikuyu who is my age, I feel some sense of...
Oh my God, me too.
Oh my gosh, too? Yes.
But now for me, it's even such... I know this is weird, but like it's such a turn on when a man knows his mother tongue. I don't even need to know it. You could be Amkyuk, but you could be Kisi for all I know. Like, you could even be Turkana. You could even be Luo. Like, I don't know. You could be anything under the sun. But the fact that you know
46 tribes, your language.
Oh, Daddy, stop. Oh, my God. No, but seriously, there's just something about someone who's in touch with where they are from. But you know, the weird thing is, in this dating scene, have I not met men who are not bothered? Like, they're just like, it doesn't add value to my life. I don't care about it. And I was like, wow. And I genuinely just said, that's a fundamental difference for me.
That's exactly it.
Because me, this is something I value. This is something my kids I want to learn. If you're in the scene for, no, they won't learn, it's backward. Okay, not the guys I've met haven't said it's backward. But if you're of the opinion that it's one thing to just not care.
Yeah.
Fine, you're entitled to your opinion. But if you're of the opinion that it's backward and now we're fighting about where we stand, I'm not fighting with you over something like that. Let me go find my fellow people.
Yeah, who are willing to teach teach
their language to their kids.
Because I'm also very opposed to if I ever have kids. Not that I want any anytime soon. Putting out there, telling the universe. If I ever have kids, I'm not giving them any English names. Because who are those people? Who is Mary? I don't know who Mary is.
Your ancestors would be disappointed because who is Mary?
Who is Mary? And I know the people who are like attached to those names because of the church. Good for you. But I'm not giving my children names that are not African, specifically Kenyan. And I'm also not going to, I would really prefer to be with a partner who understands and wants to be part of their culture. Like,
I get that.
yeah.
I get that completely, and I am with you. I don't know that I'll choose an African name that is purely Kenyan, because I know people who've been given names that are not like from other countries, but they're African.
Yeah.
And they were still beautiful because they meant something.
Yes.
But I hear you on the raising your kid in culture, in the language, because I think in Kikuyu, literally. Sometimes I say things and I'm like, what did that even mean?
Sometimes the only expression you can come up with is in your mother tongue, because there's nothing else that can embody how you're feeling.
But weirdly enough, my relationship with the language was different. When I was growing up, when you're a kid, you pick languages so quickly. So my Kik was amazing.
Yeah.
But my English also was. Then I went to boarding school, then I started speaking Sheng, Swahili, and English only. Stop speaking my mother tongue. But then the older I've gotten, I'm like, I can't communicate with my elders. Because they're talking to me in Kikuyu. My great-grandmother lived with us for a bit. So she used to talk to me in Kikuyu. And then I have to respond in Kiswahili. Luckily, she understands Kiswahili kiasi. But then it was a real struggle. So now my Kikuyu has peaked.
It needs to. Yeah.
I just needed to up my game. So there's nothing. And then we're always listening to like Kikuyu stations on TV.
Also Kikuyu music. Kikuyu music slaps. There's something so fundamentally problematic about the singers, because it's very dirty.
What is wrong with our language? Let me tell you, everything sounds nasty and cute.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary, because why do you sound like that?
Kikuyu music, if it's not gospel, the rest of it, it's dirty. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I don't know.
It's not even the music. I think it's the language. Sometimes you can say something like something basic like the last borns or kids can be really close to their mothers.
Yeah.
And then someone is I'll directly translate, but you're next to your mom because you want to suckle. No, in Kikuyu, that sentence sounds so dirty because it's like, I don't know how to say it. I'm not going to embarrass myself on YouTube. No, absolutely not. No, people come for me because I have an accent.
One example of how people say they want to smash.
You.
Which directly translates to I want to pop your pimple.
That's what it means. Yeah. Pop your cherry.
Ihuha is a pimple.
Ihuha is a wound. Oh my God. Yuck. That's not me. I don't know if I'm going to out our friends, but then
out them.
We were on Twitter. Someone sent me. And we were talking, and then someone sent something on the group, and it was a lady describing sex, but it was in Kikuyu, and they were talking about how go claim your orgasm. Yeah. But it was so awkward to see someone in their 50s, a whole person who's old enough to be your mom, talking about claiming an orgasm, and she kept on saying, was it kokinya? It was a very weird thing. Like she was trying to say, you want to come.
Like you want to,
And then it was like in a Kikuyu sentence, and I was just like, what's going on here? I don't know that we'll crop this part out, but I need to find it. I'll show you.
Find it.
Oh my God, it was so weird. I remember watching it and being like, yee, what's going on?
Like weird in the sense of you, like how you would feel like if you're watching your mother talk about sex.
And then actually telling someone that this man is gonna come in I don't know how many minutes, so you go get yours. I can't imagine my mom saying that, because I would, oh my God, there's even a time. Oh, this is so awkward. There's a time we were talking and we were discussing fertility in marriage and in a couple. And then my parents, we're all adults, but my parents are talking about how the woman controls it.
Yeah.
And I didn't controls getting a kid. And I was like, so me, I was about to argue.
Even me right now, I'm like, huh?
I was about to argue, but then I understood what my kuka meant. He meant, like, he said, the woman is in control. If she wants a kid, she'll get a kid. Are you getting? And if you really think about it in terms of sex, it's not, I'm not saying she controls getting pregnant.
Gatekeep sexing.
Like, if you don't want him to come out, you get what I mean? Yeah. But then hearing it from an adult and hearing it in Kikuyu nearly made me cry. Like, I was about to be like, Lord, the ground needs to wake up and swallow me, because what is going on here? You get, like, it was such an awkward conversation, but then it was even more awkward because it was in Kikuyu. Because if it was in English, I wouldn't have thought much about it. I would have just been like, okay. And then also maybe the age difference also made it weird. The generational gap made it be like, I don't think I want to be here for this conversation. It's giving bees and buds, and no. But Kikuyu makes everything sound worse. Like mother tongue. But sometimes I hear when people talk, like, I personally really want to learn Luo. Not because I don't even have a partner in that, but I have a couple of friends. But when I hear them talking with their families, why are they looking like they're having so much fun?
That's exactly. The conversation always look like they're exciting. They're fun. I want to be part of this conversation. I don't understand.
Even me, I want the joke. You guys are always laughing. You guys, it's like, wow, I also want to know. Tell me. But then, it's lost in translation.
You can't translate things the same.
Some things are funny because they're in your language.
Yes.
Anyway, we move, Sha.
We move. So your next point.
Actually, that's such a good point. So my last one is, they are two tied together. But my last one is non-drinking dates should be non-drinking dates are so underrated.
I am there with you.
And when I say non-drinking dates, it's just you can go on a date and get to know someone without it involving alcohol.
Yeah.
Like Kenyans, please. Not every day.
It doesn't.
First of all, a club is not a date. I'm sorry. Okay, maybe it can be.
Someone who made you feel like a club was a date or asked you out?
No, but you not notice, like, Kenyans do this thing where not all Kenyans, but some Kenyans do this thing where it's like we meet in the evening and then we go out for drinks. And then so it's a date. Like you get, it's a date, and it's so normalized that it's part of the plan.
I understand because there's some guy, he's not even Kenyan, but he is in Kenya.
Yeah.
And he keeps asking, oh, where are you? I'm going to bar next door. See, you'll meet me when I'm there. I'm like, what is that? Have you asked me out?
Because how is that an out?
First of all, I don't go out like that. Secondly, you know that I don't go out like that. So if you want to see me during the day when the sun is out. I don't know what's happening.
They can ask you out the club, but you thinking it's a date?
Yeah.
Wild.
And then they keep saying, oh, you're never available when I ask you out. I'm like,
out.
Che?
That is not out. That is, you want me to go to the club.
Yeah.
That's so different from going out.
Is.
So let's normalize non-alcoholic dates. Yes. Also because trigger warning for SA victims or date rape victims. I don't understand why you'd think as a guy that because you bought me alcohol, I need to go home with you.
Yeah.
So we go out on a date and then you get me intoxicated and you still want to sleep with me in the same transaction. Let me just educate us, because let's go back to beginner level. A person who is intoxicated cannot give consent.
Yeah.
If you do not want to end up in prison because you slept with someone who cannot remember that you slept with them, because that is rape, why can't you meet people when they are sober? Do you know how much I admire? And the saddest thing is that this is bare minimum. Men who you get lit with them and then they're like, okay, they drop you home, let's talk about this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or they don't touch you and we wake up in the morning, and if you're sober and you want to fuck,
still want to do it, you do it.
You do it.
Yeah.
So for you to, oh child, let's just normalize non-alcoholic dates, because I don't understand why people think it's normal. First of all, even there's something that was trending on Twitter about this girl. So it's a video of this person tweeted and said, remind me not to date girls who drink or like clubbing. And then the video is, these guys were recording themselves like dancing, 3 guys at the front. The video was now this guy recording his friends. Not the guy himself, but
a guy
someone recording.
Yeah.
3 men sitting and dancing somewhere in the club. And in the background is a girl and a guy having sex. Like literally in public.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, that's a very odd video. And then the fact that so many people in the comments were like, yeah, me have banged a girl in the club. And I'm like, what's going on? Like the fact that this is normal for people to go out to have sex intoxicated in public washrooms or in the club itself. We are normalizing that. We're normalizing sex when high.
Yes.
And that's not normal. So what is underrated is an alcoholic date, but also what is underrated is a man who understands the concept of consent, because I don't understand why they are so scarce.
That one, they shouldn't be scarce. Let's start there. Because
why are we walking around? Why is everyone here
problematic.
a rapist or a rape survivor? I'm confused.
Yeah, every girl has some sort of SA story because
Oh
someone
my
could not
God.
understand that they are not interested and they don't want whatever the hell is going on. But
why do you feel that she can only get to know you when she's a bit
drunk
tipsy
or tipsy, or
if
when
this
her
girl
guard
does
is
not want to have
down?
sex with you when she's sober,
She doesn't want to have sex with you, full stop. So
she doesn't want to have sex with you, whether
that's
she's
it.
drunk, whether she's sober. If she
Yeah.
changes her mind even when she's drunk, I don't even understand why a man would think it's okay that a babe who'd never look at you twice
all of a sudden
wants to sleep with you and you're okay with that. And even women, can we avoid people who are like, I don't know, at this point I'm just like, I'm team girls, let's go out and go out alone. As in, I'm tired of the harassment. I'm tired of we have to watch out for ourselves. As in, that's a standard. It's a standard that we need to watch out for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we're literally fighting for our lives on
everywhere,
a daily.
all the time. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm just like, imagine these guys don't get it. They just, and I'm tired of having to explain to the primary. Like, this is basic information.
And you're also explaining to grown-ass men. You're not explaining to an 18-year-old.
So you can understand how to fly a plane. You can understand how to fix an engine, but you can't understand that your penis cannot go into a vagina of a person who's blacked out.
That's weaponized incompetence. Yeah.
I'm confused.
I think they're refusing. It's a matter of, it's not like they can't understand. It doesn't serve you, so you don't acknowledge it as truth.
If someone needs to be drunk to like you, then you're not likable.
You're not likable. You need to fix yourself.
Work on your personality and work on your character and work on yourself. Because this is wild.
I get it.
Mi mambo ya mwende dates zenye they don't involve alcohol.
Okay.
Na nikasitisha. Kuna plays, kuna museums, kuna walks, kuna picnics, kuna, give me something else, bowling, kuna, what are the things?
Yeah, I'm here with the lecture on you, with you guys.
I'm so done.
Yeah.
Because what is all this? I'm a people who are like, oh, okay, fine. People who are like, oh, have you tried sex when high? I'm just like, but can someone even consent in that state?
You can consent before.
What if you say no in between? What if you want to stop, but your senses are, you know, the way when you're lit, you're lit.
Yeah.
And in the moment you wanted to stop, but you consented before. It's a
but
bit
in
of a
the same way
thing.
You can take away consent when you're sober. You can take away consent when you're high.
But this other person is also high. Tunafanya?
Then now I think there's some nuance there because both of you are high. Because even him, we can be like, am I really consenting? And I'm also high. If both of you are high, that's
why I'm just like, can people just, in fact, maybe the underrated thing is sex while sober. Guys, you can actually come.
I think the underrated thing is sobriety in general, like full stop. Can we don't need to always be drinking all the time everywhere. That
was like 5 points in one. But honestly, what is underrated is sober sex slaps. I feel like people don't understand that. The reason why you don't need to be lit to.
The reason why for me, I'm not even understanding your point. I'm not understanding that sober sex is underrated is because I don't know any other type.
That's the thing. But
so people are having
people are having that kind of sex. People are there's someone's reality. For us, our reality is sober sex is a thing. Like it is the only thing. It's the only thing.
Yeah.
But there are people who, like, you saw the thing that was trending on Uber drivers and girls.
Not great.
Okay, if you don't have the context, apparently there are a lot of Uber drivers who've been complaining that they've ended up smashing ladies while drunk, and a lot of horny girls leaving the club or drunk girls end up forcing, not even put it in quotes, forcing Uber drivers to sleep with them when they're on their way home. Either you get to the place and then they tell you the money's upstairs, or you get home with them, they take you up the stairs because you can barely walk, and then they make out with you, and then you end up sleeping together. And even there's a driver who said, like, his body count goes up 3 to 5 times every weekend. I was in shock. I said, damn, that's you was a busy man.
Your body count is compounding by now.
I was confused. And then now when I think about this story, it's normalized for people to sleep with people when they're drunk. Like, it's for Uber drivers to be talking like it's common.
normal.
It's common. It's a common thing.
Yeah.
It's a problem. We need to normalize sober sex because when you're sober, you can have protected sex. You can be responsible in the sex you're having. You can remember what is going on. You can say no when you're not.
When you're like,
when you're done,
maybe I don't want this anymore. You can easily say no.
Yeah, and you can stand by. Like, it's not. Yes, it's your word against his in the case that it was rape. But how? Like, there's a lot of things to work around when rape happens in such a situation.
Yes. Yeah.
And most of the time you're blamed as a woman. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult to... It's a fight you can win, but it's a hard fight to win. Does that make sense?
The fight is difficult in itself, even if it's winnable.
Even if it's winnable. Even if you're sober.
You'll be victim. Even if you're sober, but either way, you'll be victim blamed. You'll be...
There's a lot.
Police will... Sometimes they won't even take your statement because they're like, if you were
but
drunk...
you're drunk.
Yeah, you consented anyway. And
like, you just want to stress someone's son.
Yes. Like, you're making it up. To be honest, though,
it's a lot.
It is very much a lot.
So, I don't know. Sobriety.
I think I'm for sobriety. And it also shouldn't be a surprise that people choose to not drink. Like, let people not drink. If someone is like, they're not drinking, leave them alone.
Sobriety is underrated.
Leave them alone.
Memories in the morning after a night out is underrated.
Very much. I'm enjoying this phase of life I'm in at the moment because I barely drink and it's the best because I will wake up on Sunday, I'm fresh. I don't know. I'd never tell anyone to not drink. Like, my friends, if they want to go out and they'll drink, perfect. But I just don't drink because I don't feel like doing it anymore. And my life is so
at peace.
And it's at peace. And I have all the memories and I did all the things I wanted to do because I wanted to do them. There's no question of I did it because I was drunk or I did it because I was influenced by someone or something in a situation that I would have rather not been in, or if I would not have been in it if I was sober.
I don't understand why people are having sex
being sober and having sober sex.
Please, that one, the combination of those two.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
That's my last one.
We are ready to finish.
Like, I'm just like,
you're very triggered right now.
I'm like this.
You're ready to fight someone.
Niko tu hapa.
The characters of GTA.
Yo. Anyway, so I'm done. Oh, okay. So thank you so much for listening to us. If you have any more comments on what you think is underrated, please comment down below and follow us on our socials. I am at Maya Mushemi and
at I am Gina.
And you can listen to the podcast on Google Podcast, on Spotify, and you can watch us on YouTube.
Yes. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a like and subscribe to the channel.
Yes. Bye.